have won a WPT title ages ago.
He's got it! Nick Schulman, at 21 years young, has captured the World Poker Finals Championship.
He was only 21, barely old enough to set foot in a casino, when he walked into a room packed with poker legends and left them stunned. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody saw him coming. To them, he looked like just another kid with big dreams and no chance. But by the time the final hand hit the table, he'd taken their chips, their pride, and more than $2 million. His name was Nick Schulman, and that night, he didn't just win a tournament, he outsmarted the entire poker world. Nick Schulman's story begins in the heart of New York City, born on September 18, 1984. From the very start, it was clear he wasn't your average kid. Around age 11 or 12, while most kids were still figuring out their hobbies, Nick was falling in love with poker. Growing up in a family that encouraged sharp thinking and strategy-based games gave him the perfect playground to develop his mind. Even back then, he noticed something most adults overlook. Poker isn't about luck. It's about logic, patience, and reading people. He quickly stood out among his friends, showing a rare mix of calculation and calm under pressure. By 18, Nick wasn't just playing cards anymore. He was chasing mastery. Since he couldn't get into real casinos yet, he turned to online tables under the name The Takeover, grinding his way up while dissecting every detail of poker theory. Then came his big break. Just 3 weeks after turning 21, Nick dove headfirst into the live poker scene. His first big buy-in, $1,000, earned him a spot in the massive 783-player World Poker Tour event in Mashantucket back in 2005. And when he made it to the final table, he didn't just show up, he dominated. With nearly triple the chips of anyone else, Nick stared down legends like Lyle, the godfather of poker Berman, and Alan Cunningham, the reigning WSOP Player of the Year. For a newcomer, it was a trial by fire. But Nick didn't just survive, he stole the spotlight. Now, the final table that night wasn't just fast, it was lightning in a bottle. Everything happened at breakneck speed, hands flying, chips clashing, and eliminations coming one after another. In just over 3.5 hours, 89 hands were dealt, and here's the jaw dropper. Only 18 of them even saw a flop. Nearly half of those were all in before the flop was dealt. It was pure chaos in the best way possible. The first big explosion came early, at hand 14. Cortellino raised from under the gun, and Tony LaCastro, sitting in the big blind, shoved all his chips in.
But Tony's hit 2 pair, Mike.
This is an unbelievable card right here.
It's all in time.
Well, Tony went all in. He quickly got called by Nick.
Without missing a beat, Cortellino called with pocket 8s, but LaCastro had him crushed with pocket 10s. Then came the flop, Jack 10-8. Both players hit sets, but Tony's 10s were miles ahead. The board finished with 2 queens, sealing Cortellino's fate. He was gone in 6th place, and LaCastro was already living up to his nickname, All In. Then came poker legend Lyle Berman's turn, in hand 25. The chairman of the board pushed his $575,000 stack into the middle, and Schulman immediately called from the button with Ace-King of diamonds. LaCastro took his time thinking, but eventually folded. Clearly, he liked being the aggressor, not the caller. When the cards were shown, Berman's ace-jack was dominated, and with no miracle on the board, he was out in 5th place. By now, the blinds had jumped to $25,000 to $50,000 with a $5,000 ante, and the tension was sky high. In hand 38, Alan Cunningham decided to strike back, shoving over Schulman's raise with Jack 10 of spades, hoping to slow the young hotshot down. But Schulman wasn't bluffing. He had pocket kings. The board ran out dry, and Cunningham's tournament ended there with a respectable 4th place finish. Schulman, meanwhile, was on fire, climbing to a massive $6 million chip stack, while LaCastro and Gazes each hung on with about $1 million. The next stretch turned into a tense back and forth between LaCastro and Gazes as Schulman coolly watched from his mountain of chips. But when the blinds jumped again, to $40,000 to $80,000 with a $10,000 ante, the fireworks were inevitable. In hand 67, Schulman raised to $320,000, and right on cue, Tony all-in LaCastro shoved once more. Schulman called with ace-5 of spades, only to see Tony flip over ace-9. The board gave nothing to Schulman, and just like that, LaCastro doubled up to $2.7 million, momentarily putting some heat on the chip leader. But the pressure eventually caught up to Gaze's. His stack was bleeding, and in hand 85, he made his stand, pushing in his last $615,000. Schulman instantly re-raised all in over the top with ace-queen of hearts, forcing LaCastro to fold. Gaze's turned over king 8, hoping for a miracle, but the flop ended it instantly. Ace, jack, 4. Schulman paired his ace, and that was all she wrote. Gaze's exited in third place, leaving the stage set for the final showdown. Now at this point, the game could have gone either way. Schulman had the edge with $5.15 million in chips against Tony LaCastro's $2.69 million, but in poker, one hand can change everything. And that's exactly what happened, just 4 hands into their heads-up battle. Both players limped in and saw a flop of ace of spades, king of spades, and 8 of diamonds. LaCastro checked, then came in hot with a check raise to $300,000. Schulman didn't flinch. He called. The turn came the 2 of spades, and LaCastro, true to form, pulled his trademark move. All in. Without missing a beat, Schulman called. He turned over the 9 and 6 of spades. He had a flush. LaCastro showed 8 and 2 for 2 pair. He had just 4 outs to save his tournament life. The river, 5 of spades. Schulman's flush held strong, and just like that, Tony LaCastro was out in second place. But as a millionaire, Schulman, at only 21 years old, had done it. He conquered the Foxwoods World Poker Finals, snagging a staggering $2,167,500, basically $100,000 for every year of his life. It was the takeover in every sense of the word, and this was only the beginning. 2 years later, he nearly repeated the feat at the same tournament, finishing runner-up to Michael Vela for another hefty $864,652 payday. But Schulman wasn't just chasing money, he was chasing greatness. That breakthrough moment came in 2009 when he finally captured his first World Series of Poker bracelet by winning the $10,000 no-limit 2-7 draw event. From there, Schulman went on a roll, consistently cashing in some of the biggest tournaments around the world. In 2012, he did it again, taking home his second WSOP bracelet in the very same $10,000 2-7 draw event. Then, in 2019, he added a third bracelet to his collection, this time in the $10,000 pot limit Omaha High-Low Championship. That same year, he notched his second ever 7-figure payday, over $1.18 million, for finishing third in the $100,000 high roller. By 2023, Nick Schulman was on fire. He picked up his fourth bracelet in the $1,500 7-card stud event and wrapped up the year with a $374,000 win at the $25,500 Poker Masters. Then came 2024, a monster year. He crushed the $25,000 high roller no-limit hold'em at the WSOP, outlasting a 318-player field for $1.67 million and his fifth bracelet. And he still wasn't done. He grabbed a sixth in the $5,000 The Closer event at WSOP Paradise. By that point, Schulman wasn't just a poker star, he was a legend in motion. His 2025 induction into the Poker Hall of Fame, beating out heavyweights like Jeremy Ausmus, Ted Forrest, Phil Galfond, and Mike Matusow, only confirmed what the poker world already knew. Nick Schulman had earned his place among the greats. 7 WSOP bracelets, some over $28 million in live earnings, and a seat among the game's all-time greats, all achieved in his first year of eligibility. And what makes him even more special? He's not just a player, Schulman's also a world-class pool shark, often seen with his custom cue in hand, and one of poker's sharpest commentators. Whether he's on the felt or in the booth, his insight and charisma shine through. From an ambitious kid grinding online under The Takeover to a 7-time bracelet winner and a Hall of Famer, Nick Schulman's story is pure poker magic. And if history's any guide, he's nowhere near done yet.